This concept that we think that robots are like superhuman in like pressure and like,
bro, this is literally like a significantly disabled slave. Who the fuck is like, this is goated, I need this in my house? Like, that's what this is. It blows my fucking mind. You gotta be a real ass freak for this, dude.
strength. And some robots are because they're heavily geared, but that means you're not sensitive, right?
And it's also not even AI. Is literally controlled by a dude in a low-cost labor site somewhere far, far away on the other side of the fucking planet.
Delicate. Neo doesn't work like this at all. It works more like us. So the finger strength of Neo is about the same as a human.
It's so crazy because like people will go, oh, well, what about the disabled? Like disabled people need something like this. No, they don't. They need at-home care. The fuck are you talking about? They need a real human being to do these jobs much better than this person. And the government should at least either subsidize that or pay for it with a decent wage. What the fuck are we doing?
Load 3 items in the dishwasher.
You got this, Neo. You got it.
And that took 5 minutes. The Neo I saw isn't the one shipping in 2026. The new model will be safer and have better hand dexterity. The one I saw still needed to take breaks to charge and cool down. The challenge isn't just Neo's body, it's also its brain. The body has to perform tasks safely, but the brain needs to know how to do them on its own, without human help. But right now, everything I saw Neo do was guided by a skilled pilot.
Teleoperation is essentially when there is a human in the loop.
And who is the voice I'm hearing right now of Neo?
Hi, I am a remote operator in a different room in the building.
And what's your name?
Turing.
What's your real name?
My real name is Turing.
Like that's your name on your birth certificate?
Yes, it is, believe it or not.
Alan Turing was, of course, the famous computer science and artificial intelligence pioneer. But this Turing, with a VR headset and controllers, was the one actually operating Neo.
I just got here. What the hell is happening? Fresh hells beyond, fresh new hell beyond human comprehension.
Until he handed me the controllers.
I actually might throw up. I think my hand is... I have no idea where I'm facing. This is me doing the Macarena.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, we're fine.
And Neo had to go to urgent care.
See you, Neo.
Why does Neo need to be operated like this in the first place? Because its brain, aka an AI neural network, needs to learn from more real-world experience. The videos of the robot doing things via teleoperation become the training data to make the AI model smarter. That's why 1X is putting Neo in the homes of early adopters.
I think it's quite important for me to just say that in 2026, if you buy this product, it is because you're okay with that social contract. If we don't have your data, we can't make the product better. I'm a big fan of what I call like big brother, big sister principle, right? Big sister helps you.
This is literally a grift, okay? For the record, this is just a grift. They are leaning in to people wanting a futurist utopia, wanting a taste of that. Because like the cost of this entire process is not even cheaper than hiring someone to do the work at a much better pace, right? So it's just a grift at this stage. And the reason why they get to maintain this grift is because they can always say, and this is the old Silicon Valley trick, this is a tech company. We're actually trying to be the next unicorn. You have to invest in us. and you have to let us do all of this unethical shit because our job is to bring about AGI. Our job is to learn the patterns that this human operated robot is going to engage in your homes so that eventually an actual AI can do it. In reality, they're not actually advancing tech in any meaningful fashion. And instead, they're just leaning on people's ambitions. They're leaning on people's hopes and dreams that this will happen. Yeah, it's basically the Juicero conundrum over and over again.
Big Brother is just there to kind of monitor you. And we are very much the big sister. Depending on how much you want to trade, we can be more useful. And you decide where on that scale you want to be.
Do you right now know what things Neo in 2026 will do autonomously versus what it will do teleoperated?
So when you get your Neo in 2026, it will do most of the things in your home autonomously. The quality of that work will vary and will improve drastically quite fast as we get data.
To be clear, on my visit, I didn't see Neo do anything autonomously. The company did share this video of Neo autonomously opening the door.
You know, there's this new trending concept now called AI slop, right?
I do know.
It's a very powerful concept of, let's call it...
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, so many fucking tech reporters just eat the slop so hard. Like, even in really solid, otherwise reliable legacy publishers and shit. I mean, this is the fucking Wall Street Journal. This is literally the Wall Street Journal. You got a Wall Street Journal tech reporter who's just sitting there being like, oh my God, how amazing. It's like, you're kind of doing an advertisement here. You're not actually, you're advertising a faulty product rather than at least having like the necessary skepticism or critical thinking that you must demonstrate in this moment so you can actually not do what a YouTuber would do. But the role reversal here is the fucking YouTuber is doing a better job addressing the shortcomings of this process than the fucking Wall Street Journal tech reporter is. AI is a fake software writing AI that was actually done by 700 people in India doing all the coding. Microsoft backed it, and it was a huge, embarrassing flop law. I mean, it's not surprising to me at all. Oh.
Where the robot toddles over to the person, recognizes the harmless, not glass, empty cup in its hand, grabs it, and then walks away with it. Cool. No, seriously, that's actually pretty impressive. Even if I could already today unlock the door with my Google Home and a smart lock with just my voice, there is something at least a little bit futuristic about a humanoid robot going to do that. That's part of the dream. It's doing it autonomously. But then that also means that
I think one of the worst parts about this conversation is like, you can't have a serious, sincere, critical convo about this stuff without comprehensive initiatives, whether you want to admit it or not, can only come from long sustained research and development projects that dump a boatload, if not billions of dollars over the course of decades to fucking pull off. Okay? That's why the internet was invented by DARPA, not Al Gore in the way that people think, but DARPA. It's a DARPA project. It was the publicly funded government. So you want Elon to build it? Is Elon the government? Is that what you think I'm saying here? You'd be surprised a lot of these people do believe what they're selling. I think they've deluded themselves. Guys, stop saying yes. Elon is the exact opposite of what I'm talking about. Corso says, so I work in the fintech space, and a lot of the AI products I've tested failed to meet expectations. I think it's because of the social contract issue this guy mentions earlier. No one wants their data being used to train models for obvious reasons, but the models can't improve without it. There is 1,000% a bubble, and the US GDP only grew 0.1% last quarter. If you remove activity related to data center construction, it's not talked about enough. Well, it is talked about a lot here. At least back in the day, during the Cold War, we would try to meet our adversary in areas of improvement. The USSR beat the United States to space, okay? Many people don't even think about this. Many people don't want to compromise scientific achievement. We got a bunch of technology that we take for granted every day, including microwaves and flame retardant gear that firefighters use and shit like that. Okay, a bunch of stuff. But the point is, that was only done because, and Velcro, yes. That was only done because we wanted to compete with the USSR, our foreign adversary. Nowadays, I think capitalism has been so erosive in the field of research and development and so hyper-focused on short-term benefits in our global financialized capitalist economy that even if we want to compete against China, who is carrying that torch right now, carrying the torch of the USSR right now in this very day and age, I don't think we are even capable of competing with them, even if we tried. So many of the institutions and so much of our infrastructure has been eroded over time that we don't even have the capacity. We don't even have the state capacity to be able to compete with a country like China at this point. It's crazy.
Everything else happening in this video and everything else we've ever seen this Neo robot do, we can safely assume is remote controlled. So the gap between what this product can actually do today and what it can maybe hopefully do someday in the ideal future it is massive. They are massively far apart. And so that's really my main issue. There seems to be a bit of a lost art in waiting for a tech product to be actually finished.
What's really funny about this also, and this is true, the beta testing. Human beings are the beta testers of all the stuff, including stuff that I cannot even imagine. Like FSD, fully self-driving vehicles. You pay for the privilege to be a beta tester, and you fucking literally put your life on the line. And I know that for artificial intelligence or AGI to ever work, there is so much training that is necessary on real data. But the very fact that people are paying for it and the very fact that it is insanely dangerous for the average person who did not sign up to be a pedestrian, a test dummy, against another person's paid beta test is crazy. That's what we do nowadays. We don't even try to train this stuff in a controlled environment at all. We just straight up are like, nope, this is the easiest solution here. Early access video games, early access FSD.
For announcing and unveiling it. Like, do you remember when tech companies would unveil a brand new tech product that they've been working on and then do a demo, and then the next slide was like, this thing is going on sale tomorrow or next week or something like that, and that you sell the actual product. And that is dangerous. Like, the promise of AI is so huge and so massive and magnificent and awesome, but is also so clearly not done yet that you end up with stuff like the Humane Pin, or even the Rabbit R1, for example, or heck, even Apple Intelligence, where you have these big promises, but the capabilities are still over here, while the promise is all the way over here. And I'm trying to figure out why they do that. And I think really there's two main reasons. And believe it or not, I think Tesla self-driving is a really perfect parallel example for a lot of this stuff. See, basically, in order for this robot to be everything people want it to be, they need to develop a super smart AI system that looks through the robot's sensors and is able to learn its environment and recognize everything it's looking at and teach itself to navigate that environment and perform tasks. It has to learn what a laundry room is and what the laundry looks like and how to fold each type of clothing, and it needs to learn what cups and forks and glasses are and how to pick them up. And it has to be adaptable to all these different sizes and shapes and materials and things of all these household objects, so that when the user asks for it to do something, just like, hey, Neo, vacuum the living room when I'm gone, something like that, then Neo can go, okay, I know where the living room
Hassan, AGI is here. Hassan, please trust me, it's here. Please give me some more money. Hassan, please, it's almost here. Just like a little more money and a little more tax breaks and a little more blood boys. I don't even like sex. I hate gay sex. Hassan, AGI is almost here, Hassan. Almost. In the next year, we're going to beat China by magically fucking developing AGI. I promise, bro. And it's so crazy because, like, it's kind of like people who just say, oh, capitalism will eventually create the perfect circumstances for R&D to develop that we can overcome the inevitable climate change born catastrophe, right? Oh, we'll just figure out a way to deal with all the carbon emissions one day in the future. And it's like, okay, well, that's not going to magically happen. You have to fund the research to do that, okay? And it's all systems go in the opposite direction for the time being. So just simply assuming that we will be able to fix this stuff in the future is crazy. Especially when this requires virtually everyone. A problem that impacts virtually everyone, literally everyone, requires a comprehensive solution, and the highest likelihood of ever achieving that solution or ever finding that solution means everyone has to be working towards that goal. Assuming intelligence when everyone is dumb is the fallacy of big number population. Wait, what? Begging you to fix her paw? What do you mean? Chinese open source LLMs are already closing in performance at the top of the line closed source models. They consume vastly less resources to train and run compared to the American ones.
Room is. I know where the vacuum is. I know how to use the vacuum, where the handle's at, like how much battery life I have, how much I need to vacuum the whole living room. I know not to knock over lamps or certain objects in there. And even the laundry folding thing, like just that requires a ton of training data, or at least some way to understand all these different shapes of shirts and jackets and hoods and vests and all sorts of things, and hooks and hangers, and what gets folded, what gets dry cleaned, all these different things. And the list just goes on and on. And like, what if one of the tasks is going and getting the right medication for an elderly person and bringing it to them? That it has to get that right. Like, it needs to identify the correct medication at the right time and the right intervals and bringing it to them. Like that is one of a ton of household objects that it has to specifically get really good at. Now, in the self-driving car world, no matter what you think of them, Tesla's definitely a leader here, and they've had a pretty clever approach to trying to work on this problem. Because their problem is their robots on wheels need to learn all of these possible variations and ways to navigate situations that could happen on the road and how to get around them. Traffic cones, construction zones, weird lane markings, etc., etc. So, with their millions of cars already on the road, they have slowly, very slowly, let people turn on this beta self-driving feature in small stages in their cars, while instructing people to keep their hands on the wheel, of course, so that they can slowly start to gather information from people willing to beta test. And so those cars will encounter and navigate all sorts of situations for the first time, and then the second time, and then the fifth time, and then the 100th time. And all this data can go back into the system to help all these cars learn and get better. And now at this point, this is like their primary advantage, is they have millions and millions of miles of training data from people essentially beta testing for Tesla. It's a robotics challenge. It's an AI challenge. But yeah, they're essentially using early...
Is he speeding in a school zone again? Okay, to be fair, if he was in that situation, that wouldn't be his fault. That would be the failure of the FSD.
Adopters to beta test to make the systems better for the eventual masses. And now this home AI robot challenge is essentially the same thing, but in people's homes, which is potentially way more variables. Like, cars have to stick to what's on the road and mostly are operating in a 2D plane, where there's obviously different stories. People's houses are crazy different shapes, and there's all sorts of objects in different shapes and types of them, and a million different variables just with household objects. And maybe you could argue that the stakes of self-driving cars are a little higher because of all the safety risks, and, you know, if it messes up, someone could die. Maybe that doesn't happen as often with the home AI robot, but then again, if it gets someone's medication wrong, you know, it's still pretty important. So I think the point here is you don't get to make this awesome, perfect, home robot without all of this information. And so they need the training data. And so they go right back to early adopters. So people who press that order now button first and who actually, I guess, get one of these when they start to ship them, will get a robot that can probably do a few simple things autonomously, like opening doors, but there will be many things it can't do. And for that, if you scroll down on their website, you can see
Like, this should be, like, even in a universe where like this is the training necessary for like actual autonomous robots to work. You should be paying these people, okay? You shouldn't be paying for it. You should be getting paid to allow this to take place in your home. I don't understand this fucking mindset where people are like, nah, it's actually great. I will pay for the privilege of being a beta tester. Like, what the fuck? Video game companies used to pay quality assurance folks. This is more than quality assurance. This is training. You're training the robot. I can't believe it. It's just capitalism all the way down, man. Oh, there's a sucker out there who will pay for the privilege. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done watching this. I can't. It's just so stupid. Ay, ay, ay. The man says, as a gamer, half of which come out in less than a beta state these days. No, I know. Back in my day, that wasn't the case, chatter. That's my point. Back in the day, releasing an alpha test was insane. There was no early access alpha test. There was no early access beta test. What's next? Paying for the privilege of coding the game? Is that what we're going to do next? Fuck it. Let's just unfold. Let's just unleash a bunch of UGC to the masses. Oh, you get to participate. If you give us $5,000, you get to code the game yourself. I guess technically that's what Roblox is, right? Is it more racist to buy it in white or black? Do they? No, they don't have a black one, do they? That's. I didn't even think about that. That is crazy. They do? Oh my Lord. Okay, I want to move away from this. I want to move away from this future, and we're there regardless, okay? I think a part of the problem is that I just don't have any confidence whatsoever that we have any semblance of regulatory agencies that will actually do the right thing to protect the fucking masses. That's the other problem. Because, like, you'd be like, Hassan, they do this in China too, and you pog when it's China doing it. And it's like, I still have some confidence in the competence, the bare minimum competence of the Chinese government. And even then, I'm very, very worried. We do the exact opposite. It almost feels like we believe our own lies, okay? It feels as though we believe the lies we have told ourselves about deregulation and capitalism fostering innovation. I think a lot of people genuinely believe that, where they think, oh no, this will actually unfold a tremendous amount of technological improvements. You don't get it. I used to think that people were saying that because they're cynical and they just want to expand profit margins. Maybe these people do believe their own shit. At least the former industrialists, I think, the titans of industry, were much more aware of what they were doing. They were more evil, I guess, in that regard. Nowadays, we're just stupid. We're evil and stupid.
Ahead of President Trump's arrival here in Asia, you'd be forgiven for thinking that America and China were on a diplomatic collision course. But for all this year's tit-for-tat on tariffs and trade, the truth is that the world's economies are so intertwined that even President Xi of China travels on an American-built jumbo jet. Behind the scenes, diplomats from both sides laid the framework for a deal at the weekend, though the body language between these leaders was largely stiff and formal.
But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good.
At this, their first face-to-face meeting in 6 years, probably for domestic consumption back home. China's rise to superpower giving it parity, and Mr. Trump no doubt relishing his latest big power powwow on the global stage. But President Xi was never going to agree to stop buying oil from his main diplomatic ally, Russia. Mr. Trump said it wasn't really discussed.
President Xi is a great leader of a great country, and I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship.
She with a brutal hairline, Mog? Okay, dude.
For a long period of time, and it's an honor to have you with us.
While China's...
You predicted the outcome of the Trump-China trade deal? Page not available. Do you think China will back down without gaining serious concessions out of this? From America? I don't think they'll get a lot of concessions from America. I think China will actually concede in an effort to maintain global trade stability. That's what my suspicion is. They'll offer something to Donald Trump to make it seem like he's a big boy who actually did this, who dominated little old China. That's my suspicion. And the only reason why they will do that is because they benefit from global trade working the way... wrong, Law? Wait, no, they did. That's exactly what happened. What are you talking about? Wrong. That's exactly what happened. Aesthetically, they literally gave Donald Trump a couple fucking gimmies that they don't give a shit about, whether it be TikTok or repurchasing, like signing back on to purchase soybeans and whatnot. And that's it. Wrong, going back to 8 months ago isn't conceding. No, that's guys, you're failing to comprehend what I'm saying. It currently does. She won't bend the knee to the paper tiger. No, it's not a real bending of the knee, dummy. I never said that. I'm saying China will make slight concessions, like so that Trump can just, stroke his ego and present a W, like, oh, we dominated China. But before that happens, and it hasn't happened yet, obviously, this period of unprecedented global trade instability and market volatility is happening because China, I think, wants to use the temper tantrum being thrown by the fucking idiot in charge as a way to remind their global trade partners who the adults in the room actually are. If you think China will make slight concessions, doesn't that mean that you think Trump holds more cards over them? No. Donald Trump is saying, I have a nuke. I am going to nuke myself and the entire global marketplace. Of course, China doesn't want the entire global trade design to be nuked overnight. They stand to benefit from the way trade is conducted on the international stage. America basically is looking at the situation in front of them. They've recognized that China is lapping us. They recognize that China is far more developed. They have a lot of power. And if you look at it like a board game, America basically recognizes that China is winning the board game. So they're saying, I'm going to literally flip the fucking table. As a negotiation tactic, they're saying, I'm going to fucking flip the table if you don't meet my insane demands. But there are other players on the board game as well. And they're noticing that America is fucking saying they want to flip the table, which will create unprecedented chaos. No, but gotta respect chat misunderstanding you the same way now as they did when this was recorded, Lamau. I mean, this is my life, dude. Every damn day. I'm fucking pushing the boulder over the goddamn hill only for the boulder to fall back to the bottom every day. But he wants that. So now China is looking at the other players on the table and saying, you see, this guy's a fucking asshole. He wants to blow up this goddamn game. I still want to play the game. Maybe I'll win the game in the end, but I still want to play the game. Do you want to continue playing the game, or do you want this person to fucking flip the table and no one wins? You are admitting that Trump holds the cards? If China wanted to flip the table, they could too. If Trump held all the cards as the global hegemon, then China would have conceded overnight. Why has that not happened yet? Like actually, fully conceded. Nobody wants nukes to be launched, okay? Obviously. So you have to play, you have to play this delicate tightrope when the guy controlling the global reserve currency is trying to fucking nuke it into oblivion for no reason, for no discernible reason. This is why This is why you pay me the big bucks. You were wrong there, Lamau. Wait, what? Everything that I said was correct. I even was careful to say maybe the European trade partners. Oh, you're talking about the nuke, like actual nukes that Trump announced he's testing. Yeah, come on. Don't be silly. This was a common Chinese take the moment Trump won the election. This Greek Arab copied it and pretends it came from foresight. It's so funny because Topsy hates that I am Chinese in my heart and in my soul and can conduct this analysis that many Western analysts are completely incapable of conducting. And he hates it. He hates that just as the fox assumes the tiger's ferocity, so do you assume the words of wise men. I can see through your act. You see that? You see that? Top G, back at it again, totally coping with the fact that I am Chinese. I am in my heart and in my soul Chinese. And that is precisely the reason why I can conduct this kind of analysis that turns out to be true. You said China was going to give in. I'm not sure how that's correct in this case. What do you mean? There's still concessions. There are 10% tariffs, things of that nature, but they're modest in comparison to what Donald Trump was seemingly demanding. Yeah. Rich people look to the future and recognize the dangers and try to make sure that their next of kin, the next generation, is not as warped by this. Okay? Is not as warped by this at all. Whereas the children of the poor will get fucked. China is not a utopia, but its citizens have a brighter future than ours, and they will be able to read about it thanks to a socio-political system that still sees literacy as necessary and retains primacy over private capital. That's one of the takeaways from the article. I mean, it's in the article, sorry. And it's actually a brilliant take. And it sucks because I get it. I get wanting to. Dude, if you ask me if I've seen Predictive History one more time, I'm going to fucking put you on a spaceship, okay? Yes, I have. Please stop spamming this guy. Oh my God. I have. He has some interesting takes and then some fucking kooky ass ones. Okay, calm down. Jesus Christ. Y'all just find one crank on the internet with like a decent fucking take on one issue and then just like keep spamming it over and over again. Please stop. We're talking about something different and perhaps more consequential. Okay? TikTok about AI and education echoing exactly what you're saying. The kids now who are using AI without guardrails are frying their ability to learn. Yes. I'm not saying anything about Professor Jiang. He seems chill, okay? I just, not, time and place. Okay? He also does have some crank-ass takes, to be fair. Right-wingers have been making fake AI videos of supposed black women demanding taxpayers keep paying their food stamps. I know. And the chuds are eating it up. I know. I saw this. The future is so dire, folks. We're going to be talking about this in a little bit when we get to the SNAP benefits getting cut. Just shut the fuck up about AI. No, I will not. TV will make us dumb. It's a scourge to society. Fuck normal development. School is jail. Emancipate our children. Dude, I'm Mr. Broad Tent, okay? I'm Mr. Popular Front. But goddamn, some of you fucking crusty ass anarchists, like for no reason whatsoever, give credence to what the USSR did with these kinds of behaviors, okay? It's fucking crazy. Anarchist who's also pro AI is awesome. I need you to understand. Technological developments is great. I'm a fan, okay? This even includes AI. But, and this is a very important but, there are important cognitive developments that need to take place. Okay? You just need to do that. You need to fucking do that. Okay? You need to work your brain. It's a muscle. People forget it. Children's labor was crucial to the survival of the whole household, so much so that socialist newspaper Egalite denounced compulsory schooling, declaring that the practice would wrest from the working family a resource it cannot spare, child labor. Okay? Anyway, it's a really great piece. I read it. It was very black pilling. And yeah. In reality, they are far away from AGI, the actual goal of AI. Unless it is achieved within the next year, expect the fallout to be massive. Look at the straws they are grabbing at, selling AI bots that aren't actually AI, but actually Indian-like Amazon stores. Oh.
It's here, the first humanoid robot housekeeper.
Thank you, Neo.
For $20,000, you can pre-order 1X's Neo robot now, with delivery in 2026.
I think you missed a tiny spot over here.
Just one little catch. There may be a human behind the curtain, pulling the robot strings.
Oh my God.
If I throw up, will the robot throw up?
A company representative may need to peer into your house via Neo's camera eyes to get things done.
To many people, this is crazy.
You have to be okay with this for the product to be useful.
But is Neo a useful product?
We're twinning now, Neo.
Home robots have had two big challenges: creating a safe and capable body and a smart brain. 1X is taking on both of those, which is why Neo looks so different from a more industrial factory robot.
Neo, it's 70 degrees here in California. Why are you wearing a sweater?
Good question. Bernd, why am I wearing a sweater?
It's a combination of safety and just also generally aesthetics. You can think of it kind of like a skin, except if it was an actual skin, that would probably be pretty creepy.
It would be creepy, but I actually wasn't all that creeped out by Neo.
Inside Neo, it really starts with some very, very powerful motors that we have developed here at 1X. These motors are so strong and light that instead of using the classical gears that you see in robots, we can actually pull on tendons loosely inspired by biology and muscles. This allows Neo to move around not just quietly and smoothly, but also be very, very lightweight and be very low energy in motion, just like people.
That lightweight design is intended for our safety, in case the 66-pound robot falls. Although Neo is capable of lifting up to 150 pounds, it's not as superhuman as you'd think.
Crush it. It's a walnut.